Okay, good morning. Thank you everybody for joining us today and thank you for being on time. So welcome to CRT Presents Malaysia E-Invoicing, all you need to know to be compliant. So today we've got some crucial content that we're going to be covering. We'll be talking about the Malaysia E-Invoicing initiative, how that's going to impact you, and what you have to prepare for the upcoming mandatory adoption starting from October this year. Plus, later on, we will have a surprise guest speaker from Crayon Malaysia, our Microsoft partners, who will be sharing some interesting tips about how to get more out of your Microsoft 365 subscriptions. Also, we will be having a Q&A session later. So if you have any burning questions, please type them into the Q&A function at the top of this screen, and we will get to them later after our presentation. For questions that we are not able to answer today due to time, we will note them down and rest assured we'll come back to you separately on them. So to kick things off right now, we have Miss Sharon Kwan. So Sharon is the COO of CRT Insights Technologies. A seasoned expert with close to 2 decades of experience under her belt, she's helped businesses from a plethora of industries harness their data into business intelligence and profitable assets. Without further ado, I will pass the time over to Sharon. Sharon, please.
Yes, thank you, Kisha. Hi, good morning, everyone. Yeah, okay, so I believe all of you have signed the attendance. Firstly, thank you for joining today's webinars. Okay, so we're going to start now. So I think as we all know, since last year, our Malaysia government is talking about the e-invoice and everyone was so excited and sent a lot of query to CRT, to my team that how we're going to do with Dynamic 365 Business Central meet the requirement for Malaysia e-invoice or not. So to answer all your questions that how that Dynamic 365 Business Central to be offered. So today we had the webinar to share with more detail on this part. So okay, so to ensure the bandwidth is smooth, so I will switch off my camera. So after the speech, I will switch on back when I answer your queries. Thank you. Okay, so first thing, so I think thank you for Kisha just now was do a quick introduction about myself. So as Sharon, I've been in this industry for the almost 20 years. So some of you has been knowing it since the day one I'm in this industry. So thanks for the support. So let's just move on for what we're going to be share for today. So about for today, we are going to talk about a quick overview for Malaysia e-invoices. So we have been summarized some of the requirements indicate in the guideline 2.0, which is released around October, as well the specified guideline released at the same time in the October 2023. So then from there, we'll share with you what does Dynamic 365 Business Central and Dynamic NAV 2018 is offers to you that to help you to seamless the implementation of the e-invoices. And then as a taxpayer, what do we need to do? And what is the preparation required and what is the timeline that you have it to meet the first implementation or when the time is reached the trace that on the deadline. So let's move on to that. Okay, so launch date. I think every day nowadays, if we from the Facebook or the any social media, we can see the should be on the August 2024. On the last 2 days, NST has been announced that government will be do the e-invoice for the first round on the May 2024 as well. So then on the second batch that we're going to be implement will be on the January 2025, where your revenue 25 million, 200 million. So fully implementation of the e-invoice in Malaysia will be in the July 2025. That is mean all the industry, including the mama store, all these things, we have to do the e-invoices. So that will be the date that everyone have to mark down. Okay. So for the e-invoices, so what is the Malaysia e-invoice model? So generally they want us to prove of the income that we receive. As well as a taxpayer, we have a lot of things to be deducted. So it need to be proof of the expenses about the purchase we receive from the supplier or from any individually. So that is all has been mentioned detail from the invoice guideline the e-invoice guideline that been released by the government. Okay, so in terms of e-invoice, we know all the transaction is required. So who going to be exempted from that? So of course, firstly is the state government, local government, or the former do and during shift that they will be announced as a exemption from the e-invoices. So as well, following expenses like the salary or the zakat or the distribution of dividend in specified circumstances, all these things will be exempted from the e-invoice. So this has also been, you can find in the exemption from the implementation part in the guideline. Okay. Then when we know who is exemption, then you should ask, then am I required to implement? Yes. So in generally, typically all the transaction we have been dealing with for B2B, B2C, and B2G is required. All the flow for doing the e-invoice is almost the same. Okay, so this is a part, this is all the entity that has been compliant for e-invoice requirement. But as we know, B2C is like when we go to the retail industry. So there have been specified requests that you can be exempted with the condition that you don't need to prove of the expenses by the end consumer. Meaning that today is your mom goes to the pasar, you don't need to prove of the purchase. Okay, for these expenses. So then we have some industry that cannot be chosen. They have to be implemented with, cannot be consolidated, but have to be do the e-invoices per transaction. That will be some of the industry is the automotive, the construction industry, and the wholesaler and the detailer of the construction of the material, licensing, betting, and payment to all the agent, leader, and distributor. So this one is not allowed for the consolidator of the e-invoice. Government is allowed the consolidation of the e-invoice for the industry like the supermarket or the retailer. Okay, so which is they are allowed. Okay, so let us overview what is the e-invoice overall workflow. So firstly, like normally we have to issue the invoice. So to do the e-invoices based on the process flow, firstly you have to issue the e-invoice and upload the My Invoice portal. So there are two methods. One is the manual uploading to the My Invoice portal. The other thing is to do the API for validation. So today when we're talking about NAV 2018 and the Dynamic 365 Business Central, we're talking about the API method. Okay, so once we submitted already, then they will have a validation by the IRBM. So any validation, if the validation is approved, they will send a notification including any rejection. So once this is approved and is validated, so it can be shared the invoice to your buyer, that's mean to your customer. So your customer and buyer, your customer or buyer still have the 72 hours to reject or to accept or to cancel the. So once it's after, of course, it's required to issue the adjustment. That is normal. What we do is our credit adjustment or our debit note. So then all the buyer and supplier is able to file the e-invoices from the My Invoice portals. So what is the model that the Malaysia e-invoice is offered? As just now mentioned, there are two methods is offered. One is through the My Invoice portal. That is the official web that launched by the IRBM. So this was accessible to all the taxpayer with no cost, meaning that you can be going to the portal to upload it. Okay, so you can see here there is a manual uploading. There is no automation. So another method that IRBM is offering is doing the API, that is doing the integration directly from your ERP system, which this is the required for the upfront payment. So all this was be encouraged or big transaction volume customer, that taxpayer, you can be performed by using the API. Okay. So let us see what is the differentiation between the My Invoice portal and the API working in IRBM. So firstly, you can see there is an option number 1 here. So when there is option number 1, is talking about you go to the IRBM website to log in log into the IRBM portals. So to manually upload it or creating your e-invoices. So when method number 2 is talking about the API is a direct technology provided that such as CRT. So we are using Dynamic 365 Business Central. So it can be uploaded automatically upon the invoice is issuing. So one issuing already, over the portals. So the same thing, they will upload it to the IRBM cloud. So the validation process will start and the notification will send to both party. One, it is validated. They will send to the supplier and the buyer. So when the supplier is received already, it can be shared the invoice to the buyer. So when we're talking about share the e-invoices, meaning that it's not like what you have been currently doing, download to the PDF, Word file, and email to your customer. But it has to be consist on the QR code and the approved unique identification number in the particular document before you can deliver to your buyer. Okay, so when they receive already by buyer within 72 hours, as we said, buyers still have the right to whether to be reject or cancel. So they can be go to the portal to upload, say, I would like to cancel or reject the e-invoices I received. So of course, supplier also can have playing the same right to request for the rejection or cancellation after the 72 hours of validation. So if after that no rejection or no objection is received by the IRBM cloud after 72 hours. So IRBM cloud will move the particular approved transaction to their database. So that is where you can be accessible after that by the buyer and the supplier. Okay. So what kind of the e-invoices? So when we're talking about e-invoice, we always keep thinking about it's only invoices, but the answer is no. So beside the commercial invoices we issue to our client, that is also including the credit note that we raise for the customer and the debit note we raise to the customer for any additional charges to or for the particular invoice have been issued earlier. So there is one more thing document that required to submit on the e-invoice portal is the refund note. So refund note is talking about when you want to refund the money to the customer, example, deposit pay or wrongly payment or the excess payment that made by customer that you would like to do the refund. So that is the requirement from the IRBM for the 4 type of the document that require to fulfill the e-invoices. Okay. So when we're talking about the e-invoices, it's all talking about proof of the income that we receive, whether more or less. So I think there's another thing that required is we do have a purchase from the overseas supplier or for the non-registered. So in IRBM, has been requested that to fulfill that and proof of the expenses. So they request as a buyer, this means yourself, have to raise the purchase sale billable invoice. I believe during the GST time, everyone was familiar what is purchase sale billable invoices. So based on that, who you can issue on behalf, example, you purchase from the any foreign seller, because as we know, our foreign supplier is not a mandatory, must be meet our Malaysia e-invoice requirement. So, and then for any e-commerce transaction, example, we like to buy from the Shopee, Lazada. So all these services that we receive from the e-commerce, we have to raise ourselves e-invoices. So, and then it's also including some of the agent fee that you pay off. So this is to prove that all the expenses that you have been acquired and is allowed for claiming back the tax. Okay. So what is the e-invoice format that IRBM is allowed? Of course, I think some of you may think, oh, e-invoice, is it referred to any PDF, Excel? No. So it's referred to XML and JSON file. So that is the two approved format that is accepted by the IRBM. So any format out of these two is not allowed. So this will be the few things that is not allowed. That means all your PDF, JPEG file, image file is not allowed and not recognized as the e-invoices. So when the e-invoices is implemented, just now we say once it's validated, we need to share the document to the customer. So when share the document to the customer, IRBM also have some requirement on the hard copy document you share. So you can see those we highlighted a bit on yellow color. That is a TIN numbers. So that means you have to print your TIN number in your output documents, example, your invoice, your credit memo. So for the buyer itself, you also need to print their own TIN numbers. So whereby for ship to, today, I believe most of you, if you are in the distribution, your customer may request you to ship to third-party warehouse. So if today is dealing with a third-party warehouse, the TIN number for the third-party receiving party is also required to print out in the particular output document that is the e-invoice. Okay, so that will be the content will remain, and the other important part is that is required to print out the QR code received from the IRBM and with your approval certificate numbers and the date and time for the certificate. So this is a few criteria that is required by the IRBM in terms of hard copy. So besides the e-invoices, it raised out to third party. Of course, for the purchase sale billable invoices from the purchaser side, they will also require you to keep the e-invoice copy in the system to include to showing your supplier TIN numbers and your also about the unique approved number that received from the IRBM when you submit on behalf for your supplier. Okay. Right. So I think when we talk about all these required, then the next thing you may have a query, what kind of the mandatory field and the field required to manage in the MasterCard? Example, from the point of view as yourself, as a company. So the first thing, of course, is the business registration number, MSIC code. So your tax identification numbers. So SSC registration number and the digital certificate validate date and the e-invoice numbers. So in terms of for your vendor and customer, the other three main things required is their business registration, their TIN number, and the SSC registration number. So those been highlighted in the blue color is the client that who is using our CRT localization. You will have all these fields is available. So only the white color is the new field you're going to be see when you purchase, you subscribe our e-invoice module. So beside the MasterCard, of course, in terms of the transaction screen or the sales purchase invoice screen that, so there are 51 fields is required to be maintained. So those highlighted in red color is the mandatory field. So you can see that example, that is the e-invoice that from the party side, there is the supplier from yourself and the buyer name. And then the TIN number for both party, your full address. So make sure you correct the correct address, all the address from your customer and their contact number and the email, especially for local supplier that they're going to be receive the e-invoice notification. Okay. So we just now we mentioned we do have an import and foreign supplier or any public that is a person those like the non-registered company like your staff. So in terms of that, government also announced that there are 3 default TIN number that you can apply to them. So that's mean today, if you are dealing with the local buyer, local seller that who do not have a TIN number, you can use the start with the E and the 1 and 000 that with the default number. And for the foreign vendor, it will ending with the 20. And the foreign supplier will be ending with the 30. So this will be the default TIN number that it can be applied to foreign buyer and foreign supplier. Okay. Okay, I think one more thing is most of my clients, some of you is dealing with the export. So we do have a query on the exchange rate. So in terms of exchange rate that to be applied on the e-invoices. So in the guideline, they do announce that. So if today, okay, for the supplier side, that you have been compliant with the tax requirement, that means you may receive the K1 document from the Royal Custom. So you have to follow the date. So if no, then you should follow your own company default default exchange rate that defined by your company. Follow Bank Negara or any bank exchange rate to apply to any document raised not in Ringgit Malaysia. So that will be the exchange rate part to take to take note by all the customer who doing the export business or import from the overseas. Okay. All right, so we have talking a few of the key requirements that IRBN have been mentioned in the guideline. So the next we are going to share with you is what is the e-invoice package that we offered for the customer who using the dynamic NAV 2018 and Dynamic 365 Business Central any version. So of course, the latest version is version 23. So The functionality we offered in for the customer is using the API to My Invoice portal. That means they will auto synchronize and update with the My Invoice portal instead of manually uploading through the My Invoice portal. So in this particular packet function that we offer is firstly, of course, as I mentioned, we will auto upload all the posted sales or purchase document to My Invoice portal after the user is issued. So once the purchase or sales document status is validated and the status is updated in the IRBM, they will be synchronized back to Dynamics 365 Business Central. So beside that, user is allowed to download the purchase invoice from My Invoice portal upon approval, meaning that today your supplier will also raise the e-invoices, and the e-invoices when the notification received, so you can be go through the My Invoice, we can be downloaded from My Invoice portal and keep as a PDF copy in Dynamic. So if you require more like AP field mapping, so this will be the add-on module to be purchase in future. But right now, what we apply for that is to allow you to be downloaded. And then we also provided an update function for the posted transaction example, because the rejection condition announced by the IRBM is if there's any like wrongly SSC number or the TIN number you be key in is allowed to change if there is any rejection due to this reason. So we provide the tool for user to be updated and resubmit again for the portal. And then we also provided 3 modification of the sales document and the purchase document for one company in your organization. So today, if your company is share the document, then you can be just modified one, then they will apply to them. So of course, if you have more, do let us know. Okay, that will be we will be let you know separately what is the mandate required, and we also provide the e-invoice audit log that to trigger every document when is the upload time, when is the synchronization time. So in the event there is any dispute, so you can check from the system and then to report back. Okay, so let us quick run through from the system because of the on what we have been added on when you see in your screen. So once the e-invoice is up, so of course you will see a new tab under the company information, which they will consist of the field, example, your company TIN number, your digital certificate, and also the MSIC code, the core MSIC code for your company. So on top of that, so we also provide a new function for you to maintain your digital certificate expiration date. So on the right hand side of the screen here, you can see there is a Sigil Digital Anda. So this one, in fact, right now you can obtain from your company tax portal. So if you log in through the LHDM website, so to check with your company, you are able to find your company Sigil number and the expiry date. So you can see for first one, we have been downloaded, it's been expired by February 2025. So this will be the TIN number has been announced. It's meaning now you already got your own company TIN numbers. Okay, so for the customer and the ship to address that in the customer MasterCard, we will provide the additional field for you. There is a TIN numbers, and then beside the business registration and the SSC registration numbers. So for the vendor card itself, it also provided the same field to be managed by the user to update it. So since we mentioned about the API, so from the API side, your company will be receive the configuration detail from the IRBM, as such as the URL services. So we provide the portal here, the setup page here for you to set up the configuration to be updated and all the login password and accessing. Okay, so let us view what is the field that will be synchronized with the My Invoice portal. So this is the e-invoice status field that you will receive the synchronization when did. So is any rejection or cancellation status will also synchronize back to the same screen. Okay, so for the purchase e-invoices, because of the purchase for normal local purchase, the e-invoice unique ID will be received. And you can see we have sell e-invoice. So this sell e-invoice numbering will be auto flow from the MasterCard. Okay, So user can be default set up for those import supplier or the import supplier to be issued as self-billable e-invoices. So system will be recognize this icon and then do the uploading. So you won't have the duplicate upload. Okay, so this is the sample about the e-invoice integration log. So you can see here we have upload the sales invoices. So when the status is uploaded fail, so then system of course will be appear in here. So you will know able to know how many times it's failed. Of course, in our system we have been set resubmission after a few 1 to 2 minutes time. Okay, so to ease of the user, so this is the dashboard that we provided. So from the dashboard, you know how many e-invoice is not yet submitted, how many is success submitted. And the sales document, so we provide some of the report for the user to do the reconciliation example, those submitted sales document. So you with the TIN number, so you with the validation date and time. And we also provide user the document, some of the report that without the TIN number, meaning that you already submitted, uploaded, is pending validation. So all this will be auto-synchronized that the reporting is a real-time update, so user can generate it every time when you require. And we do have the summary of the report, actually with total per month that you have been submitted, what is the value is submitted, what is the value has been. This also will ease the user to do the reconciliation with the e-invoice portal. Of course, we will have more and more report coming when you found it is required. So other than that, the change we're going to make on our hard copy document to share to the customer will be your digital certification or the TIN number, so that you can be identified now where to print out in your current hard copy, including your purchase document, include your posted purchase invoice, debit note, and your purchase credit memo. Okay, so that's all. That will be the thing that we're going to be offer. Okay, as we know that government haven't announced the SDK, so now we are waiting for the SDK to be announced soon. Then we will have the live system to show you. Okay, so Kisha, I'm done.
Okay, thanks, Sharon. If you can help me to click forward to the next part.
Yeah.
Let me take control. How about I'll take control for this part. Okay, so yeah, hi everyone, it's me again. I hope you are enjoying the webinar so far. If you have any questions, we have a Q&A function at the top of your screen next to the chat button, so you can drop your Q&A questions in there, and we will get to them when we can. If whether it's in chat or later on in the Q&A session. So as I mentioned earlier, today we have some special guest speakers, or we have a special guest speaker from Crayon, Malaysia, who is here to share with you how you can get more out of your M365 subscriptions. A short introduction of Crayon. So for those of you who are not familiar, Crayon is headquartered in Oslo, Norway, with more than 3,700 employees in 46 countries. Crayon operates a global customer-first and vendor-agnostic IT consultancy. Their mission is to help clients select the best solutions for their business needs and budget to thrive in and innovate with software, cloud, data, and AI. So our speaker today is Visrendra, cloud engineer from Crayon. So let's kick off this special segment. Vis, please take it away. Vis, are you there? Let's give him a bit of time. See. Okay, I think he's experiencing some technical issues. Please bear with us while we figure it out. My apologies, we are experiencing some technical issues. So give me a while.
Kisha,
Sharon, yeah, I think
while waiting for them, I think to settle their technical. So
yeah,
that I think let me can answer some of the user query here.
sure.
So is it all right?
Yes, please.
Okay, I think let me open the Q&A portals. Give me a minute. So I think we received a query from Catherine. Catherine is asking the TIN number, is it referred to the tax numbers? If you log into the tax portal, I can say yes, it's referred to, for company basis, it referred to the company tax number. For personal wise, if you have a new tax number for us. Okay, so, and question by Mr. Lee. Okay, Mr. Lee is asking about how about manufacturer allowed to consolidate the e-invoice or not? I think Mr. Lee in the early slide I shared. So as per current for the manufacturer that you are the Senyum Berhad, it should not allow. It had to be per invoice basis. Except today your customer said taxpayer, the customer not required to prove as an expenses. So hope Mr. Lee answer your question. So there's a two question only in the questionnaire section. So have they solved their problem? Catherine have another question. I cannot read. Give me a minute, Catherine. I cannot read the question. Oh, Catherine, your post in the chat. Okay, thank you, Florence. So for the personal, they will be registered TIN number and provide them for the company claim. Catherine, just now we did mention, so that staff also with personal as a Malaysian, everyone have a TIN number. So to prove the expenses that they claim from you is allowed for the tax claimable as an expenses part, yes, you have to ask from your staff. Or else you can use the general as a public we mentioned here. That is what we found from the guideline. Of course, if you need more detail, right, if they ask about your tax consultant. Okay, so
I think Sharon, do we want to just continue on first and then later on then we will have this present?
I'm
Because
fine.
yeah, we're still working
So
it out.
since they got the issue on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, welcome. So I think let's us continue. Let me skip the slide here. So I think my webinar for myself, the next I'm talking about is client checklist. Client is referred to all of you online. So what we have to be prepared. So we know that when the e-invoice is coming, your boss is asking, everyone asking. So just now we share about dynamic nav. So and the BC, that the function we offer is API. So for the IT people who is joined online, so you may want to know, Sharon, what is the preparation I require from the IT point? So firstly, of course, is referring to the object. So object is for those customization. Just now we share about the report, the function, the interface, and the code you need when you're using NAV 2018 and above on-prem. Okay, so you need to ensure your licensing is with the available object to be used. So for those customer who is using on cloud, meaning you are 100% host on cloud, then you are no object required. So meaning that will be on the extension basis to publish in your Dynamic 365 Business Central. So, and then this is IT. So how about operation? How about account? How about sales? How about purchase team? What you need to do for account? Please check back your annual report on the year 2022 to determine that which timeline you are for, whether you are in the August 2024 or you are in the 2023 or July. So right now, government is based on the 2022 annual report as a determinant of your revenue. Okay. So on top of that, the compliance you require to obtain from your customers or supplier, that will be their business registration number, their TIN number, their SSC number, their address, contact information, which is include the contact person name and the email address, valid one, and then also the shipping address and the shipping registration number, TIN number, and SST number. If there is a different party receiving other than your company, different location. Okay. Okay. So beside that, what else? Review internally about the document that you want to do the modification with the insert of the new number, new information required in which part, which field. So you make it be circle it and let us know and write it properly and submit to modify that. Okay, so we have all these things. You must be asked, when is the timeline? So if I base on the first batch, which is going to be launched in the August 2024 this year. So as per current, we know that, as I just now mentioned, NSK was been news from the LBM is first batch voluntary will be launched in the May 2024. So we expected all the SDK that for our API side will be also ready for UAT on that point of time. And then when the point of time is done or is day, so on June onward, so as a customer point, you need to prepare, make sure all the master information required, we mentioned early, able to update it in your MasterCard setup and the configuration for the user training and the testing. So we have the UAT testing with you. So in the July, you will prepare for your mandatory implementation stream to make sure your live database has been updated with all the necessary required and the mandatory field. So before on the 1st August, you can switch on the function to be work on that. So that will be the, based on this planning, I think you need 2 months in advance. So for those did require to be implement the e-invoices in the January 2024, that's mean the timeline start preparation will be in the January until December. So that you are able to meet the 1st December 2025 deadline. Okay, right. So and I have been answered the Q&A section just now. So anyone still got any question on that? What I'm going to, that is today's sharing. Any more question on that?
Thanks, Sharon. I think maybe we can give them some time to formulate their questions. But now we can go back to, I'm going to take control. We'll actually go back to the Korean presentation. Let's see.
You want me to control for you?
Yes, actually, I am not able to control. Okay, I will stop control first. Okay, thank you. I think you go to the next slide, please. So thank you everyone for bearing with us, especially through the technical issues earlier. So as I mentioned earlier, we have Visrendra, the cloud engineer from Crayon, to take you through this special segment on how you can get more out of your Microsoft 365 subscriptions. And just a reminder, if you have any questions, you can dump your questions in the Q&A function. So for now, I'll pass the time over to Viz. Viz, please take over.
Hi, Kesha. Thank you.
Good morning.
So apologies for the technical issue just now. Right. So hi everyone. A very good morning. I am Visrendra from Crayon. So today I would present to you guys on a very cool and interesting topic that is being used all over the world right now. So without further ado, let me just share my screen.
Viz, we're actually seeing your presenter. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, can you see it now?
Good to go. Yes.
All
Thanks.
right. Okay, cool. All right. So, um, you may ask, I'm sure everyone here knows what Microsoft 365, and most of you have been using Microsoft 365 for your daily activity use as well. But let me just give you a very brief introduction. So what is Microsoft 365 is all about? So as everyone know, Microsoft 365 is a productivity tool which works across the cloud platform. And today I'm going to be mostly touching on Microsoft 365 Business Premium, which I like to enlighten you guys with, which is a solution built for small businesses, which combines application, intelligent cloud services, and also world-class security business, which are very much needed today. However, through the AI feature built into Microsoft Office application, such as Microsoft Teams, Bing Chat Enterprise, and now which has been released, the Microsoft Copilot as well. So I'll be touching on that as well a bit. And then, yeah, so let me just straight dive through in. Okay, so as you can see, what Microsoft has to offer is we have the business basic, business standard, and also the business premium. So if you see the business premium, what is the most uh, the changes or the difference is you can see the pillar down below on the business premium, which we have the comprehensive security, which consists of Intune, Azure information protection, Azure AD Premium, and most which everything which is related to security, you have it in the business premium, right? Okay, so let me just straight away going into the demo for you guys on how actually this business premium in terms of security will actually work for you guys. Hold on. All right, so here I have a demo which I'd like to show to you guys. So like most of us, I work from home, and one of the first thing that I would do is every morning turning on my PC, logging on into my office apps, and this which usually means that I would need to remember my passwords, and we all know how much fun it can be to remember all the different passwords that we need to log in into different applications. So when I turn up my PC, for example, here right now, if you can see, do you notice the little, say for example, if I press login, so do you see that there's a little bouncing eye on the lock screen? So that is Windows Hello. So upon looking at my face in terms of facial recognition, and then it will just automatically logs you in after recognizing your face without the use of my password, right? So this is one of the features that in terms of business premium security has. And yeah, it turns out that the passwords are also number one security threat, right? So if anyone has access to your password, voila, they are able to access into your computers and are able to do all kinds of sort of stuff, right? So this is one of the features, right? And moving on, I'd like to show you another demo, which is in terms of the Microsoft Microsoft Defender for business admin. Hold on. Okay. Right. So here, let's take a quick look behind the scenes of the Microsoft Defender for business in action. So let's say a scenario has happened, right? Which means an attack has attacked on your cloud, right? So what Microsoft 365 Defender would be able to do is it will trigger right? It will trigger and let the admin know that there's something malicious is happening in your cloud. So here you can see the dashboard. We can see the incident details the IT admin has access to, and as well as recommended safeguards, which means to isolate and protect the machines and user, right? So as soon the attack started, Defender for Business created an incident report. So if you can see on my left here, there's an incident report which has been created. So what the admin can do is they can then further investigate to identify where did the incident came from. So right now you can see that the incident report has been created, right? So let's go on and create, click here. So it will able to tell you how many people has impacted, how many devices has impacted, and they will also tell you whose PC, right? For now, we can see that Megan's PC was impacted. And then upon the admin as myself, I'm able to have a graphical view of the incident. So I just click on graph, and I'm able to see that the attack is originated from Megan's PC, creating two processes, right? So now the admin as myself, I'm able to go deeper into the alert for more detailed look. So I just click on this link here. And then I open the alert page, right? So you can see what type of alert stories, the step through that has occurred. So you can see that apparently the user has been running some PowerShell script, right? Which is malicious. And then, yeah, here basically we can see a detailed alert description detailing what happened and what could happen in the future, right? And also we have the, what do you call it? The alert recommendation, what needs to be done. We can see on the right pane here that the Defender for Business is able to give us an alert recommendation to what are we supposed to do, which will help us in terms of how can we rectify and remediate the issues and the problems. So as you can see, so far only one impacted devices and user has been affected. By isolating the device and escalating the incident, the IT admin can protect future assets from disruptions. So not uh, uh, it's not being processed to all over the users as well, right? So as you can see, Defender for Business automatically investigates alerts, and which also helps to remediate complex threats, which acts as our personal security analyst, working 24/7 to protect your businesses. And yeah, and which essentially Defender for Business brings the, how do I say, the power of it basically works like a next gen antivirus for your M365 cloud, right? So this is one of the demos that showed for Microsoft Defender Business. So the next one that I would like to show is right. So that is for the demo for the Microsoft 365 security. Next, I would like to show you guys on our next interesting topic, which would be the AI tool. I'm sure you guys know what is the AI tool I'm going to speak about. Right. So before moving on to that, let me just give you a glimpse of how AI can actually help us a lot. Yeah. So nearly 2 in 3 people, which is about 64%, have mentioned that they have struggling having the time and energy to do their jobs. And those people are 3 times more likely to also struggle with innovation and strategic thinking. So with the help of AI, we should give those repetitive works to AI and then let us, the humans, do the thinking and the strategic thinking and so on, right? And the next one, 3 times. Yeah, since February 2020, right, as COVID has hit us and mostly everyone has started been working from home, people are actually 3 times more in Teams meeting and calls. So which making them not to be able to do their work efficiently. So they are always in the meeting, trying to collaborate with people, but then end of the day, they are not able to do their own job, which they will have to do their job in the middle of the night and thus not spending time with the family. The next one would be employees are actually more eager for AI to lift the weight of work than they are afraid of job loss to AI. So more people out there are actually waiting for AI to adopt their workloads rather than they are getting scared of losing their job due to AI. So as you can see, 70% of people are happy to delegate as much work as possible to AI so that they're able to lessen their workloads, right? And data also shows that business leaders are looking to empower people with AI rather than to replace them. So they are 2 times more interested in using AI to increase productivity than to actually cut the headcounts. So in fact, reducing headcount was the last on the list of what leaders would value from AI. So that is the last thing that they would like to do. So let me introduce you to our most powerful AI that we have just recently introduced. That is a Microsoft 365 Copilot. So what is Microsoft 365 Copilot? It's an AI powered productivity tool, which that uses large language models called LLM, and it basically integrates your data with the Microsoft 365 apps such as Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Teams. So Copilot provides a real-time intelligent assistant, enabling users to enhance their creativity, productivity, and also skills. So now you are able to use Copilot in these 5 applications throughout Microsoft 365 apps, which will help you to get your work done. And in terms of creativity, you don't need to think too much, which Copilot is able to help you on that, right? So let me just quickly play you guys a quick introduction video on Copilot. So let me just play it.
Vizendra, there's no sound.
Oops, I am so sorry. Hold on, yeah. Is there sound now, Kisha?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry, guys. right, so yep, so we saw how Copilot video was. I'm sure that was interesting for most of you guys. So the most important thing about Copilot is that you are always in control. Yeah. So you decide what to keep and what to modify or discard. Right. Okay. Let me move ahead to the licensing part of Copilot. So previously customers were only able to purchase under the EA agreement, but however, now the requisites have been lifted, and customers using BS and all the way to BP, along with 0 SKUs and M SKUs, can now purchase because there is no minimum license order on the site, right? So if let's say you are using BS, BP, or OE3 or OE5, you are able to acquire this Copilot licensing for the Copilot. So you don't need to be in a minimum license for you to acquire the Copilot, right? So let's see. Tisha, do I still have some time? Because I'd like to play some 2 more videos.
I think we got to wrap it up in a bit.
Okay, cool, no
Maybe
problem.
just one more if it's not too long.
Yeah, it's not that long lah. Just
Okay.
one. Okay, cool. Right, guys, just want to show you guys on in terms of Teams how Copilot will actually work. It's very interesting.
Copilot can help you stay on top of it all, summarizing Teams chat so you quickly see what you missed. Here you were asked for an update on the customer, and Copilot can help there too. You can simply ask Copilot to create a summary of all the customer conversations. It produces a summary with citations so that you can verify the details, refine it as needed, and post your update. You just received an invitation to brainstorm in a Loop workspace. Loop is a multiplayer collaboration canvas with Copilot as an AI peer along with everyone else. Here the team is collaborating in real time on product offers and pricing, adding notes and action items to keep everyone on track and up to date. You can ask Copilot to create a dataset from Excel on the top-selling products by category, and it will analyze and fetch the relevant data and compile it in a table. Since this is a Loop component, another member of your team can jump in and add a column for proposed discounts. Copilot even populates the data based on the specific instruction. Anyone can prompt Copilot to build on each other's ideas collaboratively, so that everyone can see from the prompt history how it arrived at the current state, with the option of undoing any instruction. Now you can close out the action item and get ready to meet with a customer.
Right. So that is one of it I like to show. There's many, but due to time constraint, yep, Kesha, I am all done. So any questions, guys, please do let me know. I'm happy to answer your questions. Yep, thank you very much.
Okay,
Tisha,
give me
to
a
you.
second. Thank you very much, Viz. I hope you guys found that interesting. I definitely did. And Copilot sounds really interesting. And I believe it will help a lot of people do their work much faster as well. Okay, so coming back to this, so what happens now? So we've gone through the content on the e-invoicing. We've talked about, what's coming and what's the impact going to be, and how you actually need to, or what you need to prepare now in order for you to be compliant once the regulations kick in. So what happens from here? So what happens from here is that we will be contacting you to kick off the implementation of the e-invoicing add-on to your BC systems. But in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to Dick, our sales director, or our chief sales and marketing officer. Can reach out to myself. Just scan in either one of our QR codes. It'll take you to our contact page with our contact details, or you can contact CRT support if you have any technical questions or any functional questions that you require our services or technical teams to come back to you on. And our phone number is there as well if you have any queries and want to call in. So we come to the end of our webinar. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope it has been insightful and given you the assurance that we'll be able to transition smoothly into e-invoicing. And of course, I hope today's session has given you the confidence that we'll be able to help you get there. If you missed out parts of this webinar, no worries. We will send out the webinar recording by this week. And if we have no further questions in the chat, then thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you spending, Tuesday morning with us. And hope you have a great lunch ahead. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.